Hayden. Hi, Claire. Hi, Emily. I'm gonna wait like 1 more minute for more people to join, and then I'll get going. Max, come here. Sit. So before I get going, just want to apologize in advance if my dog or my cat get in the way. It's most likely going to happen, but we'll work with it. I hope you guys are having a really good day so far. It looks like it's going to be really nice out again today, at least in New Mexico. I don't know where you guys are at, but hopefully you guys are taking this time to enjoy yourselves and to hopefully stay active. I know I'm really trying to do little things every day. I'm still not where I want to be, but hopefully we'll get there. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Chelsey Landry. I'm from the New Mexico location, and I have been coaching there for the past 4 years. I love coaching, but I absolutely love tumbling. That is 100% my passion. So today what we're going to be focusing on in specific is tuck drills. I want you guys to know off the bat that this can be beneficial for your standing tucks as well as your running tucks. It'll pretty much just help you in general with your tuck technique and your strength, your power. You actually understand what's going on in your tuck. I really like to try and make sure my athletes understand not just how to do the skill physically, but really know how to do it mentally as well. I think that really helps really get rid of those mental blocks. I think it strengthens your consistency and, just like I said, your overall understanding of it. So these drills are for pretty much anyone at this point. If you already have a tuck, work on these, make your tuck even stronger. If you are working to get your tuck, this is really going to, like I said before, help you understand what you actually need to be doing, as well as work those muscle groups needed to be physically strong enough to do the tuck and to get it over safely and correctly every single time. Even if you are not working a tuck, I don't care if you're working a cartwheel or a round off or a back bend, if you in the future eventually want to get a tuck, may as well perfect these drills now. I'm going to try and answer as many questions that I can throughout, but if I don't get to yours, you can always send me a direct message. My Instagram is Coach Chelsey Landry. You can ask me on there, and I will really just try and make sure that I get those answered for you. If I'm checking my watch, it's just to make sure that I'm staying on time. I really want to make sure that I get through every single drill that we need to get through. With all of the skills that I do drills for, I really try and break it up from the beginning to the end. So I always try and get a drill for the introduction to the skill or the set for the skill. I always try and get a drill for what's going on in the actual skill, and then I always try and find a drill for how to properly land that skill. So hopefully these drills cover that completely today. Like I said, if not, you can just ask me questions and hopefully I can get those answered. So the first drill is just like a little warm up. It is definitely not the only thing that you can do to work power in your legs and strength in your legs, but I figured this is just different. It's different than just a regular squat. You can change it up. I'm still working on these. I have gotten super weak in my legs over the years, so I still struggle with these. You can make it easier by making the surface higher, or you can make it harder by making it lower. I challenge you all to be able to do this without anything at all and to be able to go all the way down to the ground and stand back up. If you can do that, I applaud you. Get a video of it. Tag me, tag Cheer Central Sons, tag whoever you want. I would love to see that. But here's going to be the first drill just for some more strength and more power in your legs. So you're gonna need anything like 2 cushions. If you have a sturdy table, you can do that. Mine isn't so sturdy, so I'd rather not break it. Like I said, if you just wanna do 1 cushion or anything that you can kind of sit down onto, not put all of your weight onto, but just enough, I mean, in case you fall or anything like that. I know I'm not perfect. So I'll show you it and then I'll kind of explain it and then I'll get any questions. Okay, so seems not too crazy or anything. Like I said, I struggle with it. It's been a while, but you can always make it easier or harder. If you didn't see, I was doing a 1-legged squat onto the 2 cushions. You want to make sure a couple of things. Really make sure you keep your chest up the whole time and your core tight. You're going to see a lot of things that I do that are definitely not perfect, but if I feel anything, I will definitely call myself out on it. But always make sure you're keeping your chest up, super tight, head neutral the whole time. I prefer to just keep my arms out right in front of me. I guess you can really do it however you want to. You just don't want to do anything that's gonna make your chest drop forward. I don't know if you guys could see in the video, but I switched legs each time that I did it. I just did 1 on each leg because, again, I'd rather not have to do a lot, but I challenge you all to do as many as you can until you literally cannot even stand up anymore because your legs are shaking so bad. So I switch legs every time. You don't have to, but I feel like this is a really good drill just because it forces you to have to use your leg strength 1 leg at a time to stand up out of it. Stand as quickly as you can. When you're sitting down, don't put all of your body weight down. Try and kind of stay on top of your front leg. But those are kind of the goals for that one. So I'll do it 1 more time. And then if there isn't any questions, then I'll move on to the actual kind of elements of the tuck. And one more thing that I didn't mention before, what I think is really important is keeping your knees together the whole time, making sure to not drop that front leg. I know I definitely do, so try not to do that as much, but really focus on keeping your knees together. Like I said, not dropping your chest forward and not putting all of your body weight back into what you're sitting on to. So, next drill number 2. This is going to be specifically for the jump in your tuck. You guys are gonna look at it and you're probably gonna think to yourselves, well, that seems really easy. It's just a tuck jump, but what you're really trying to do is force your body in the proper technique or in the proper body position for that tuck jump. Another thing that's going to be super, super important is when a lot of people do tuck jumps, you don't necessarily think about using all of your leg strength. You just think about a normal jump, tucking your legs in front of you, and that's pretty much it. Well, what's really important in a standing tuck or a running tuck out of a skill beforehand or anything like that is you have to have a full extension of your body, a full set, before you actually go for your flip. I see a lot of times, and I know even myself, not perfect at it, if you would slow yourself down doing like a video of a tuck, you wouldn't see your legs actually straighten much before you go for the tuck. And that's really important to try and do. So in a standing tuck, I like to try and say you should be able to get your feet at least 3 inches off the ground, body extended in a straight jump before even going for the tuck jump, right? And that actually, at least for me, makes it really, really hard because you're forced to wait until the very top of your set or your straight jump to actually go for the tuck. And like I said, that can be used for running, tumbling as well. You're gonna wanna be able to get your feet off the ground a lot higher for running, tumbling because you have that momentum. But for standing, like I said, I like to at least say 3 inches off the ground before you even start your flip, and that's what this tuck jump is really gonna work on. So you're not just going to do a regular tuck jump where you just bend your legs right off the ground. You're really gonna straighten your legs, push through your toes, arms up, shoulders shrugged, before going into that tuck position. And again, when you do that tuck position, I'm gonna make sure that I'm trying to tuck my knees in front of my body rather than right here or kicking my butt. So that's also gonna make it a lot more difficult. I know even just doing one takes a lot out of me, so just do as many as you can, like I said, and then at the end, I'll give you guys another progression to that. That's really good. That makes it even more difficult. So, show you the tuck jump. Hopefully you guys will be able to see if I do it semi-correctly or properly. Hopefully you guys will be able to see my legs come off the ground straight, toes pointed, before going into the tuck jump. I'll show you kind of the difference between that and just kind of a regular tuck jump that you see a lot of the times, or an incorrect tuck jump. So regular tuck jump, making sure legs are straight. Now even that one was definitely incorrect in a lot of ways. I know I definitely felt that when I did my tuck jump, I was more right here rather than getting my knees up in front of me. I know I was really focusing on trying to get my legs as straight as possible before going for the tuck jump, and so that's the main focus. But another thing that I realized that I did is because I was a little bit slow off the ground, I was barely able to get to my tuck jump before having to open back up. I'm gonna do it one more time. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Maybe it won't be, but hopefully I've explained enough of it to where you kind of understand what I'm talking about. So I'll do it one more time, and then I'll do a really just incorrect tuck jump so that hopefully you can see the difference in what I mean going into the set or the rotation of your tuck. Okay, so I feel like that was a little bit better. I know personally I felt like I had a little bit more kind of rotation falling back out of it, so hopefully that meant that my hips were a little bit more in front rather than just straight down like my first one. Again, still not perfect. I know a lot of you guys can do so much better than that, so really focus on that. A good progression for this drill, and I know a lot of you guys have probably done it before, is doing either what we call a rollback tuck jump or a candlestick tuck jump. So that's just adding a candlestick body position while having to stand up before you even do the tuck jump. I think the candlestick body position is really, really, really good because it forces you to have to drive your hips right over your head and really drive your shins over your head and just force that into that good candlestick or layout position. So I'll do one rollback tuck jump, really focusing on a good rollback, good candlestick position, and then a really good tuck jump at the end, and then I'll move on to the next drill. So again, definitely not perfect, but hopefully you guys get the gist of what you need to do. Do as many of those as you can. Literally keep going until you cannot even stand up from that candlestick anymore. It'll get a really, really good workout in. I know literally just from doing one, I feel it in my core. I feel it in my upper body just from having to shrug up so much, and I definitely feel it in my legs as well. So drill number 2 was for the jump. Drill number 3 is going to be for the rotation in your tuck. So actually being able to get over. Again, it's going to seem really, really, really simple, but it's really, really good, and it's super important to perfect the basics and to master them and to have complete understanding of them and to be able to do them over a mat or under a mat or with any obstacle and at the highest and hardest level before you can feel completely comfortable in throwing it, or before you're comfortable in consistently landing it if you already do throw it and things like that. So again, I encourage you, if you're doing standing tucks already, to do them. If you are wanting to do standing tucks in the future, do them. I know some of these drills that I'll be doing can even be used for standing fulls, specifically the last one. So I'll kind of explain how that can be used for a standing full. But this next one is going to be for the rotation, pretty much making sure that you're in the correct tuck position. It's also going to be good for just a set, realizing that you have to make sure that your arms are up and your legs are straight before going into that tuck position. So it's going to be similar to a candlestick position, but it's going to be in the form of a tuck, and you're just going to lay on your back and go into it from there. And then I'll explain kind of another drill to do that'll help with rotation after that. All right, so hopefully you guys could see that whole thing. If you couldn't see it, or if I was at a bad angle, I couldn't really tell, just comment or let me know, and I'll try and fix that for you. But if you couldn't see, laying on your back, arms are up, shoulders are shrugged, you're gonna want to drive through your shins, and eventually once they lift up, you're gonna want to drive through your hips so that eventually your hips are up and your shins should pretty much be in a straight line, vertical, right on top or right over your head. So that's really going to make sure that you're focusing on lifting your hips into the tuck rather than dropping your chest down into the tuck, which I see a lot. If you're having a really hard time rotating, or if you're stalling at the top, that may be your issue. You really have to focus on getting your arms up, and then from here, lifting your hips up into your tuck rather than pulling forward. So that's what this drill is really, really good for. I'll do it one more time, and then I'll just tell you the last thing that I would really recommend before thinking that your tuck is perfect. All right. see tucked candlestick. Another thing that is really, really good for tucks in general is just a basic backward roll. A lot of people can do or really, really focus on getting their forward roll, but between the forward roll and the backward roll, you see a lot more people that cannot do a backward roll. When in general, we do a lot more back tumbling than front tumbling in cheerleading. So really make sure, again, if you already have your tuck, if you don't have your tuck, if you just started and in the future you want to get your tuck, get a backward roll. So I'm just going to show you one time. I think most of you guys know what a correct backward roll looks like, but just make sure you're staying tight in your tuck position. You're not kicking your butt, because that'll mean that you are tucking like this rather than that good tuck jump we talked about before. So I'll show you just one backward roll before moving on to the next drill. All right, so I don't feel like I kicked my butt, so hopefully you could see that I was in the correct position, leading with my shins the whole time, lifting my hips over me. If you can't do a backward roll, but you have a standing tuck, still get the backward roll, okay? That'll really help you in your standing tuck, helps you with your core, it helps you just overall with how it needs to feel as you're flipping. So that was drill number 3 for the rotation. Drill number 4, in my opinion, is the most difficult. So it is for the landing. It can be used for standing tucks, running tucks, standing fulls. I wouldn't necessarily recommend from a running full, because most of the time when you do running full, you're in a layout position, and from this drill, you're gonna see that it's really, really meant more for a tuck position. I'll show you the drill, and then I'll actually tell you some ways that you can make it harder or make it easier or anything like that. You can add a skill onto it, and then I'll tell you how it can actually be used for a standing full. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you that, but I will try my best explaining it as thoroughly as possible so that you guys can understand, for those of you who eventually want to do even a standing full. So this drill is going to be for the landing of your tuck, and really making sure that you're holding that tuck position until you're getting your feet right underneath your body, instead of feeling like you're falling forward when you're landing. Again, it's super difficult for me. I know for a lot of you guys, you have no issue doing it, so do as many as you can until you can't do it anymore, or until you can't stand up anymore. Okay, so I will show you and then I'll explain it. Hi, Kai. All right, so again, definitely not perfect. I will kind of explain some of the areas that I know that I felt that I could have improved in, just so that you guys know kind of what to do, what not to do, what it should feel like, what it shouldn't feel like. If you guys couldn't see, I was on my knees. In this drill, I know at least a lot of you that know me, I do a lot of drills from our knees. A lot of times I'll have you tuck your toes so that you can actually kind of help stand up and push off your toes. You don't want to do that for this drill, because you're going to have to be relying on pushing through kind of the front part of your foot where your shoelaces would be in order to stand up. So I have my arms out in front of me when I'm doing it. I give a good swing. It has to be done super quick, so you have to give as quick of a lift through your arms and through your shoulders as possible. At the same time, you want to be pushing all of your weight back into the part where your shoelaces are at the front of your foot, so that you can actually get that lift, get a little bit of pop into it, and at that point, as quick as possible, you're going to tuck your knees in front of you get your toes down and hopefully land on your feet. I know there have been plenty of times where I've landed on my butt or I have not landed on my feet. I've tripped on my feet and I've landed on my hands and knees. So definitely won't be perfect if you've never tried it before. But this is a really, 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 really good drill that helps you really focus on the last part of your standing tuck or running tuck and making sure that as you're spotting your landing, you're pulling your knees actually in front a little bit so that as you land, you're up and down rather than falling forward in front of you. For those of you that have really good standing tucks and want to work on standing folds eventually, what you can do for this drill is you can add a half turn to it. So you'll add the half turn, the direction. I guess you can work it both ways, but if you're truly wanting to work that right side full, then what you'll do is you'll actually start on your knees again. You'll do that sit, that lift, and as you're popping up, you're gonna turn, you're gonna look over your right shoulder, and you're gonna turn, and you're actually gonna end up facing this way. So if you can do that, then that is really, really, really impressive. Again, I would love to see a video of that. That would be awesome if you could add a half turn to it, either direction. Another way to make this more difficult is adding tumbling to it. So if you have a standing back handspring and you have a safe place to do it and you feel completely confident in doing it, I stress this a lot. I don't want you guys to be doing anything over this break that you don't feel 100% confident in, because it would be awful to start coming back into the gym with either bad habits or an injury or anything like that. So only do this if you feel absolutely confident in it. But if you can do it and add a back handspring to it, or if you can do it and add a standing tuck to it, or anything like that, a toe touch or a tuck jump or anything else to it, a full turn or anything, that will really, really help as well. Just build that strength, build that endurance, and just make your tumbling even stronger. So like I said before, that is definitely the most difficult one for me. You want to make sure when you're doing this, I'll do it one more time, but you want to make sure when you're doing it, when you land, you don't want your butt to drop so low that you have a hard time getting up into at least a straight jump. I know I definitely dropped really low on my first one, so I'm gonna do it again and hopefully get a better lift into it, hopefully get more weight into the front part of my foot so that I can get a higher lift and hopefully not have to drop so low before getting into the straight jump. So I'll do it one more time and then I'll get any questions or anything like that before we move on with our day. So again, dropped a little bit lower than I wanted to with my butt, but I also think it's really important to just really make sure however you land, you're trying to get up into that straight jump or the next skill, whatever you're doing, as quickly as possible and use that leg strength as much to your advantage, because that's really, really gonna help with not only, like I said, the landing, because that's what this drill is really made for, but just the strength of your body in general and helping you get your tuck stronger or start working on those necessary muscle groups to actually start working on it in the future and be really successful with that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for all of the drills that I was thinking of going over with you guys today. Is there any other, do I have any other standing drills? If I can think of any more standing drills, I have a ton of other ones. I'm actually in the process of videotaping them right now and just getting them out to you guys, so I'll make sure to do that to go over any more drills. Any other setting drills? Another good set drill, I would say, is if you would go up, I mean, you don't have to do it up against a wall, but literally just seeing how high you can jump. Like just a regular straight jump. I like to have, when I do this specific drill, I like to have my athletes shoulder like to the wall right here, and as they're jumping, they're gonna jump, and at the very top of their jump, they're just gonna kind of slap the top of the wall, just because that'll give them a visual of how high they're jumping, and it'll give you a goal, like, oh, I touched it this time. I mean, you can even put chalk on your hand so that you can actually see it. Just really focusing on jumping as quick off the ground as possible. Another good drill for the set is just working on the strength in your legs. So if you do a ton of bunny hops, just hopping up and down, using the balls of your feet and your toes to push off the ground rather than bending your legs, then that will really, really help get you enough strength to be able to get a good set into your jump. Just focus on really shrugging your shoulders and getting your shoulders up to your ears, and make sure your head stays in, and you should be good to go. Drills for an aerial. I'm not actually going to go over drills for an aerial in this video. I think I've kept you guys long enough, but I definitely have videos that are going to be posted on some sort of social media through Cheer Central here soon that specifically go over aerial drills. So just wait out for that. I promise you that that will be posted soon. But awesome. I hope you guys have a really, really good rest of your day. Again, enjoy yourselves, support each other, enjoy the beautiful weather, stay safe, please stay home, and let's just get through this together. But hopefully I will see you all soon, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.